Hello everyone, Loserkiller here, and today I'm going to show you a MOC from my new MOC series called Okoto Nation, which is inspired by the new Bionicle theme released in 2005, so the second generation of Bionicle sets and storyline, if I can say so. And before we start with our first MOC called Akamai Kaita, I'm going to talk about 3 points which are important for this series. The first point is that in this series you will see many types of Lego creations. So for example, you might see original creations or modifications of official sets or revamps of official sets or common models or alternative models. So really a large cast of different types of MOCs in this series. Second point, none of the MOCs are really tied to the official storyline, so they are not really what you can call canon compliant, I guess. It's not really my thing to make MOCs which are in line with the official storyline. I tend to do my own creations regardless of storylines. And third point, some of the MOCs were built directly, directly during a live stream, meaning that while I was building, people were joining in the action and obviously giving me ideas and advices on how to make some parts. So I can't credit them all for what ideas they brought on my models, but I will try when necessary to give them credit for some parts they helped me to make. And well, our first MOC today is going to be Akamai Kaita. So like its name implies, it's a command model which you can also realize using only parts from Tayu Master of Fire, Poatu Master of Stone, and finally Onua Master of Earth. And Akamai Kaita might light some light in your head, I think, for some of you, because for those who do not know or maybe not remember, back in 2001, so the first year of Bionicle, Lego released an official combo model, which was called also to Kaita Akamai, and also which used only parts from Tayu, Onua, and Poatu. So I tried to do my own thing with this new Bionicle set. So obviously it's not really the most original idea, because I think a lot of people and mockers around the world had the same idea. Obviously we find the same Toa, so we're going to try to do the same common model as a sort of homage to the first year Bionicle. So yeah, not the most original idea, but well, at least you will see my way of doing things and my way of interpreting this well-known common model from the Bionicle storyline. So first, let's start with the concept. I'm going just to take this part here. So when I first decided to build this model, so I know I wanted to do both common models, because yes, you have Akamai, but you also have Werua, excuse me. It's quite hard to pronounce because yes, as it might sound quite obvious, I'm not a native English speaker, I'm French, so you have this weird accent, so I hope you can understand me correctly, and if you can't, well, please feel free to tell me in the comment section, and well, also try to help me on how to pronounce some word, how to pronounce some word, excuse me. And here we go with the focus. So yes, there is two common models, Werua and Akamai, and I wanted them to really be different from one another. So at first, Akamai, I really wanted him to be kind of like gorilla-like, so with big arms and small legs, so really kind of not really monster-like, but animal-like. And I tried this idea, but it didn't get me anywhere. So then I tried again, and so I ended up with something really bulky and armored, as you will see. So first, the body, as you can see, it's quite simple. We're going to put the head on this bone right here. I'm just going to show you how it works, so you can make him at home if you want. And we're going to do now, we're going to put, excuse me, the ball joints for both the arms and the legs. So for the arms, I'm going to use something very simple, which has been seen throughout this first year of Bionicle 2005, what I call the gearbox, because you have the gears here with the mechanism, and you have kind of a box which holds all of them together. So you can see it's not really complicated to make. I just put this part there, which will be quite useful later on. So we're going to put this part back here. Also notice the blue part which is one side axle, the other side is another part. And we're going to put now the leg. And for the legs, I'm going to also use a gearbox. So this idea directly is a kind of well, it's a directly reference the first Akamai model, Akamai model, for the first Kaita models, which also used a mechanism for their legs. So here it's more like a design choice than anything, because as you will see later on, this thing does not really work with the legs. It doesn't move the legs at all, but well, it's a little, I guess, just to be like the old models. So I'm going to put that here. And you might see some other parts all around. As you can see, it's quite busy. We are not going to talk about that right now. We're going to just move on, and I will talk about this part later on in the construction. So now that we have our parts for both the legs and the arms, I'm going to put some armors, because you can see right now it's quite empty. So first of all, I'm going to put this piece of armor of brown one there, like that. Then I'm going to do the skirt. So for the skirt, I'm going to use this armor part, and as you can see inside, a ball joint with these two little pieces. I hope you can see well enough. And I'm going to put this pin in there. Okay, so now I have a part of my skirt complete. I'm going to end it, but before that, I'm going to add this part here. And finally, going to use a connector. Once again, a ball joint, as you might see. Yeah, let's just do a better focus on that. And I'm going to use this ball joint. Okay, so now my skirt is complete, but not my armors on my body. Just one last armor I'm going to use, a piece of armor. It's this large one, which I'm going to put on this ball joint up here. And as you can see, I'm going to put this part here, just so it can continue the shape of the body armor here. And so with that done, I'm going now to move on the leg. So the leg is quite simple to understand. As you can see, I'm going to use long type of bones with 2 pinholes there and 1 pinhole here, plus 2 extensions, as you can see, here and there. Going to add this piece of armor here, and for this part, I'm going to use an Onua claw, as you can see, and I'm going to add this part at the back. So 3 parts, the T-shaped one, a simple axle, and then a connector. Nothing really complicated. And with that done, as you can see, I have really a nice shape on the front. So I really like this shape. I think it looks really good. Then you have this part. So 3 other bones, piece of armor, connector, and then this piece that I'm going to link here. And so these bones will be used as a way to make the leg stronger, and also, once again, as a reference to the old Kaita combo model, excuse me, which also used 2 types of legs to make bigger legs. 2 types of regular leg parts, I should say. So I'm going to, yes, put that here, and this will be put back there. Okay. And with this done, my first leg is finished. I'm going to add the second one, which is exactly the same. So I'm not going to show you how to build it again, because it's the same parts. Oh, and okay. That was quite a splash. Just have to find where it fit. Up, down there. Okay. And before we move on, I kind of forget to talk about the back of my model. So I'm going to just show it quickly. So as you can see, I used this parts here and there, and also notice these pieces here and there. They are different on the other side because obviously a combiner model implies that you have to use only the parts from the model you built from, and at the end of the building I didn't have enough parts to make a perfect symmetrical pieces here. And for those who might wonder why did I choose to use this part, because I really like the shape of the water here, and also it really made the back bulkier. And talking about making the back bulkier, I'm going to add this part here. So just to look how they are made. And I'm going to add them to this blue part there. So it moves, obviously, but it also helps to cover the back of my common model. I'm going to add this part here. Okay. And now the arms. Yes, the arms. So let's move on to the arms. And first off, this one. So it's the left one, even if the left and right one are the same, except for the weapons they hold on their hands. So you can see which armor I choose. And you can see on this side, for the shoulder pads, I used a foot, which I'm going to link to the second set of Onua claws, which I'm going to put here. So obviously it moves, but it also makes a nice shoulder pad with a rounded shape, which I really like because it kind of reminds me of the shoulder pads that the Space Marines have in the Warhammer 40k universe, which I really like, and I really wanted to use the same type of shapes on my MOCs for some time. And with this Kaita model, I could really do that. So make a bulky character with really this round-shaped shoulder pads. So let's move on to the weapon. So you can see you have an axle of 4 and this part at the back. And for the front, well, we're going to do an armor, which is once again a direct reference to the first Akamai model, which also had 2 heads on one of his hand to make kind of like an armor. So yeah, and this idea was made thanks to Toy-Mika, which really helped me to make this armor come to real life. So you can see you have this axle right there, this part, a ball joint in between these 2 black parts, and then this part with the 2 heads, which also is a reminder of the old Kaita model. And on this ball joint, I'm going just to add this foot up here, and this kind of looks like the hammer of Onua, released in 2005. It's the same type of construction. So just let me, lift up this armor. And now we are nearly done. I just have to put the second arm, which is exactly the same, apart from the weapon, which is a simple blade, as you can see, a simple sword. Nothing really to talk about here. And yes, let's just put that this way. So now, just one last piece to put, it's the mask. And I went with the golden toy mask. So I'm going to put it here. So it's a little cramped in there with the 2 big pieces of armor, so the mask might fall off easily. I have to admit, but it's there. And okay, I'm just going to maybe move the legs a bit. And with that said, Akamai Kaita is done. So just the focus. Yes, right here. I'm going to do a little turn around of this creation, and then I will talk about the articulations. I also do some close-up while I'm at it, because I know that sometimes it's not really the best way to see the creation from far enough. So let's just move in quickly. Okay, so I think we're good. Yes, I'm just going to show you how it looks like from a closer shot. And then we'll move on to the articulations. And you can see these parts move just a bit. Like that. Okay, so in terms of articulation, this might seem like a nightmare because there are a lot of armor. So yes, obviously it's not the best in terms of articulation, but if you try hard enough, you will see that you can do some pretty complex poses, if I can say so. And first, we're going to begin with the legs. So the legs, well, first you have to really hold tightly the parts so they do not fall off in your hands. And as you can see, you can move the leg up to this point. And then for the knee, you can, as you can see, move it way back here. So it's way more than 90 degrees for the knee, which is quite good. On the other hand, for the foot, or the feet, as you can see, it will block against the axle right there, so it's not really the best, but you can still try to move it on the side, like that. Once again, hold it, like that. For the arms now, well, this part, the elbows move to 90 degrees. The hands might be blocked by this part here. And for the shoulders, well, obviously, because of the two big parts there, they might, as you can see, you can do stuff like that, but it might break at some point if you move it too roughly. Roughly? Okay. And the head, well, the head is, you can either move it here or back, but yes, on the side also. So you can do some stuff with that, but it might fall off sometime on your hands. Also, like I said, the parts here do not do anything. They are just for the design element, as you can see, because I turn them and the legs do not move at all. And well, the same thing can be said for the arms. As you can see, it moves, but obviously because it moves, it also moves the armor right there. So this means that we will have big holes in the MOC if you try to move the little gears. Okay, so I think we are just about done for this MOC. I talk about everything, how to build it, how to move it. So now it's time to do a little pause and end this video. So like I said, I'm quite happy with the results of this compiler model, because like I said, it was really sometimes that I wanted to do a heavy MOC inspired by the Space Marine from Warhammer 40k, and I did something which is really bulky and also something which still has a nice shape in my opinion, because as you can see, there is a lot of what I called shape reminder. This means that you have the same shapes throughout the models, which helps the eyes of the viewer guide itself through the model. So for example, this means that I have the same shapes on the shoulder pads and also at the end of the legs, which is really quite cool in my opinion. You obviously have all the golden shapes which are all over there. I really like the parts here. And also for those who might wonder, why did you not put the Taus body armor here, or chest armor, if I can say so? It's because that would have been too much red, if I'm not mistaken, or too much gold. I don't remember if it's gold or red, excuse me. But that's why I choose the brown one, because it was a different color from the gold and red, which you have in mass in this part of the MOC, which you have a lot. Yeah, not not the best vocabulary, but that's the first video I record in English since a long time, so I might be a little rusty. Once again, don't hesitate to give me advices on how to pronounce some words. That would be really helpful for my next videos, because yes, there will be more videos of Okoto Nation, because like I said in the beginning of this video review, I did Werua. So next up is Werua. You will see how I made my version of the combo model between Kopaka, Gali, and Biwa. And that's all. So yeah, quite happy about this mock, how it turned out. Not the best in terms of articulations, but yeah, really like the shapes and the bulkiness of this creation, which might not please everyone, I admit, but I quite like it. So now that said and done, feel free you to tell me your opinion about this mock, or you would have seen it, or what you would have changed. I will read it carefully and answer when needed, obviously. And I think that's all. So thank you for watching, and see you all, I hope, for my next video of Okoto Nation. Bye bye.